deterrent.
Deterrent.
Yes, whether the CCTV is working or not, because the camera is there, it's a deterrent.
So there's a sense prevention.
Prevention. There is a place that we installed, but before we installed the camera there, they were always jumping over the fence to harass. But after we installed the camera, it has never happened. During the 6 months that the camera has not worked, it has never happened. So number one benefit of CCTV is deterrence. You know, but a lot of times you can learn them on internet, but then when you now see it happen practically, it's a different thing.
So you've been a player in this industry for 13 years.
Yes,
and you're still going strong.
about 13 years.
What are the other gaps that you have observed?
Let me give you another instance. We're also into radio communication, walkie-talkies. For instance, I tell you that somebody comes here now and goes away with a bag, 500,000, and then you pick up your phone and say, oh, there's somebody that just drove away now in a black car. He drives this way. Before he gets to that end of the road, he turns this way. A phone will probably have to make 1 call per person.
Yeah.
But with a walkie-talkie, what do? If you have 10 walkie-talkies and I speak on this walkie-talkie, the remaining 9 people hear at the same time.
So it's networked. So
we're talking about speed. When you talk about security, a split of a second is vital.
So timing.
A split of a second is vital in security.
It can make a whole lot of difference.
But with the phone, you call A. Oh, he has gone with the black Mercedes. Watch him. You call B. If you see him, he's with the black Mercedes. Stop him. You call C. By that time, he's gone with.
He's already gone with it. Yes.
But with the walkie-talkie, you can make, once you talk, the remaining 9 here at the same time, and they are alert. So timing is of essential. We close the gap of timing.
Coming up.
So
even the force.
Even the force.
Even the force.
Those who have to secure us, you've experienced in this business, and that you've observed that some of the other practitioners are experiencing in the business.
The major challenge is getting the people awareness. You know, you say Nigeria, we're a very religious country. We're very religious. We say you know, and in business, so in security, I prefer, it's better to be proactive than reactive. Here we are reactive. When things happen, we don't mind spending 10 million to repair. But can we spend $500,000 to ensure it doesn't happen?
I can feel you, because I often wonder. I mean, I go to some big man in our palace, as we call them. I go to some big man's house and I see an array of cars parked.
Yeah.
The cheapest car there is about 15 million naira. And then I look around, I can't see any security device. I see a malam, with due respect to the malams, who is probably paid 6,000 or 10,000 naira a month, guarding the entire property with your family and children. And I wonder to myself, what will it cost this man to invest maybe perhaps 100,000 naira, just to secure, or 200,000 naira to secure?
That's maybe 300. Because I always tell people,
and I've asked
what is the value of your life? Is it 1 million naira? Or is it 10 million? Or is it 20 million? What is the value of your wife's life? Can we put a value to life? You can't.
So
and the malam that you just mentioned now, does he sleep? The answer is yes.
Is it trained?
It's not even the trained ones Do they sleep?
Yes,
The answer is yes.
He has to sleep.
On duty. Because they're human. You see, I call this equipment eyes that don't sleep. Because they're watching when you are sleeping.
24/7.
Yes. They don't sleep.
So Mr. Daramola, the opportunity is huge, provided the marketplace is well enlightened.
It is too huge.
But you have
The moment people are aware, it is too huge. The crèches, the schools, homes, everybody should have technology.
When you say everybody, I mean, it gets me a bit worried, because the conception that we have in our parlance is that only a big man should secure himself. I mean, I'm just a teacher earning just a few tens of thousands of naira. I don't even have a car. And you are talking here that I need to secure myself. I mean, somebody somewhere will be thinking to himself right now, what's wrong with this man? What do I need to secure? Why are you saying everybody? I'm not a senator, and I'm not a big man. How do you respond to people who will say that?
When you talk about safety, we say safety is taking care of danger. When we talk about taking care of danger, it doesn't mean that danger is absent.
Yeah.
Danger is still there, but you've put danger at bay. And what do you call danger? We think danger is only armed robbers? No. What about fire? Fire is also danger.
Yeah.
So we have things like the fire detectors, smoke detectors. You know, once there's some smoke in the house, it gives an alarm. All these houses that burn, they shouldn't burn if they have the proper technology installed.
So fire is also a security issue.
Oh yeah, fire.
Now, besides the challenge of poor orientation or enlightenment amongst our people, what other challenge should one anticipate if one would go into this kind of business?
Well, maybe capital. Maybe capital. But in the area of capital, that shouldn't be. It shouldn't be a mountain that you can't surmount. You see, I believe that the solution to that is that you can start little.
When you say start little, how much are we talking about here? Like 5 naira?
No, like 100,000. Like 100,000.
With 100,000 naira, one can start this business.
Oh, definitely.
Comfortably.
Not comfortably, but you can start up. You can start up. You know, the cameras are not. We have different grades of cameras. Cameras 10,000, 8,000, 7,000.
So you mean one can actually roll, as our young people say these days, by just having a bag slung on his shoulders and have these equipments put in them.
Oh, definitely.
And actually just market them and sell
Definitely, definitely.
So a lot of young people out there could actually take advantage of the insecurity situation.
A lot of people, and as I said earlier, there are different grades. You know, there are some that you can install for 60, 70. There are some that you install for 6, 7, 8 million. So when you're starting off, you just start little, and I'm sure there'll be some money coming in for you.
That which you can now tell us. What was your own experience like? I mean, I like to go down memory lane so that we can inspire some other kinds of persons who may be somewhere there now, whose interest has been piqued, but who is thinking to himself, how do I go about raising 100,000 naira? How do I get the money to even rent an office and all of that? Tell us what your experience was like. Did you have a huge amount of money when you started out in this business?
No, I did not. I also started little, but I started with maybe some banks. Banks, yes, some banks. But then the profit was not there. It was coming in, but it wasn't huge.
When you say banks, how do you mean? Did you partner with them?
No, install equipment for them.
For them?
Oh yes, install equipment for them. There is hardly any bank today that does not use it. It's mandatory. Banks, hotels, because they need to gather evidence, and the only way they can gather evidence is through the CCTV.
So you started with the banks.
With the banks,
But how did you overcome the issue of lack of monetary capital?
You see, as I said, you start little. With the banks,
will they mobilize you?
Well, they don't really have to mobilize, but I mean, you can do one bank at a time. One bank at a time. You do this one, they pay you, you reinvest it, they pay you. Over a period of time, if you're not greedy, if you have discipline, then you can build some capital. But along the line, we now started having big clients, the institutions, the government agencies,
So
even the force.
Okay. Even the force.
Even the force.
Those who are to secure us.
They patronize.
I even coming to you for security.
They patronize.
That's quite amazing. But I still want to touch more on that area of discipline and not being greedy. So you focused first and foremost on building a profile.
Oh yes.
Of integrity, of responsibility, and responsiveness.
Exactly.
And you invested more on social capital rather than monetary capital. That's what I can take away from what you just said now.
Yeah.
How many years did it take you before you finally arrived at the point when your name was like a checkbook that one could take to the bank?
Well, you mentioned something about integrity. Business, especially this kind of business, it's about referral.
It's about referral.
Referral, yes. You do something for some guy, and he refers you to somebody else. He refers you to somebody else. At the end of the day, you get the big catch. You get the big catch. Oh, who did this for you? Oh, XYZ. Can I have his number? The reason he's referring you is because you did not disappoint him. You did not bring a fake product.
Fake product.
Yes. You are servicing him well. And then he can say, okay, this guy has done so well for me. I can boldly refer him to my friend. And his friend also refers him to another friend. And along that chain, you get the big break.
So the key ingredient to success in this business is first and foremost integrity.
Integrity is very good, very important. Then discipline. If you need to build a capital, you must be disciplined.
Discipline in terms of how you disburse your money.
How you disburse your money, how you invest your money. Can you plow it back into the business? You make 10 naira today, you go and buy a car of 8 naira, and you plow back 2 naira into the business. The challenge with this our generation is that we want money very fast. You can't, and I tell you, you buy the car. Have you thought about maintenance? Have you thought about maintenance? I shouldn't tell you how much I bought for yesterday. It will shock you. So a lot of people have the cars now. They can't put the fuel in the car.
Your concept of discipline as a businessman, particularly in this industry, especially if you're starting small without capital, is to learn and master the art of delayed gratification. Here you are, you just made a business of 500,000 naira.
Yes.
And you already have £1 million naira in the bank.
Yes.
It's enough for you to go and get that Honda EOD.
Yes. You see,
but if you want to succeed, you better delay.
You must plow
back
into the business. I always tell people that 100,000 can become 10 million. 100,000 over a period of time can become 10 million. with a lot of discipline. You know, but what do we find today? There are pressures. Pressures from family, pressures from the opposite sex, pressures from your peers. And then you try to withstand the pressure over a period of time, but a lot of people break. So discipline is very important. Knowing that this money is for business, I can't mix business and pleasure. One thing that I always tell young people to, if you are doing business, you have 100,000 naira, can you put some money aside for your salary?
So you pay yourself.
You pay yourself
rather than meet your needs from
the exactly. By the time you know it, that 100,000 has become 15,000 naira, and 15,000 naira cannot buy one camera. You that could buy 6-7 cameras, or you, oh, I want a camera, I want 6 cameras here with a DVR with 100,000 naira, you probably can do it. But you want to buy a shirt, they say a shirt is 8,000 naira, you buy a shirt 8,000 naira. A shoe is 15,000, you buy it. Over a period of time, you now have 20,000 naira left.
No, it's a good thing that you mentioned this concept of entrepreneur paying himself salary and living within the means that that salary provides. Because I've met a lot of entrepreneurs around here, young, old, whom when I tell them how much is your salary, it's my business. When I need money, I take money and
that's just it.
I want to pay school fees, I take money.
That's the discipline.
If I need to pay house rent, if I want to buy a land, I take money from the business. But you now saying that the entrepreneur needs to first and foremost look at his business profile, your earning profile, and then take a certain portion of it, which you will earmark as your salary.
From your profit.
From your profit.
From your
once
profit.
you exhaust that salary,
it's then you don't
until the next cycle.
Broke.
Until the next cycle, you should
don't think the business money is your money. It's not your money. It's for the business. So if you have 100,000 naira and you make 60,000 naira profit, from that 60,000 naira, can you give yourself a salary?
And plow the rest back.
And plow the rest back
into the business. Now let's go into sourcing for products. I imagine I've been around your store. There are some of your products from Israel, some from Germany. I reckon some will be from China, and I also reckon that some will be from the Arab world and some other parts
from
of
UK
the world.
also.
Tell us, how do you source for products? What determines what you get, and how do you go about getting them?
Well, because I'm widely traveled, I try to attend an exhibition a year, where different manufacturers come. You know, as I said earlier, I was in Dubai in January. Various manufacturers come from different parts of the world, so you meet them. And then, because we're in the business, you know the product that is original. You can tell the one that is not too original. And then you try to partner with those people, with the companies.
So exhibition is one source.
Exhibition is a major source.
What are the other sources? It's a major source.
It's a major source.
What if I don't have the means to travel to Dubai? I'm just starting out, and so far you just gave us a very good advice on not dipping your hand into the gross earning of the company. I don't have the means to go for exhibition. What are the other options available?
There are companies that actually also sell retail, like we do here too. You know, we bring down our prices so down, we bring it down that you can patronize us. We give you good prices, and then you can make a profit from it too. You know, when I started, or not when I started, the first big job I had, I didn't have the time to travel out, but I called a company. I looked through the internet, and I looked at a company that in China. And initially I was wondering, will they supply, will they deliver, won't they take my money away? But I did a security check on them, and I knew that they were existing. So I sent money to them, And within a short while, my products got here. So that's how I started big.
And let me also chip in that today,
yes,
I mean, that was 13 years ago. But today, I mean, this is free advert for Alibaba. I do know about Alipay, where you can pay to a third party that will hold your money until the product gets to you before they release it to the manufacturer on Alipay. You know, so that's another option. But I also reckon that there will be other options available to new players. You know, those who might just want to hit the ground running with zero capital, as it were. Can you please share some of those other things with us?
With zero capital, maybe some partnering with a mentor. You know, you get a business, come to me.
Coming up,
I'm in business to make profits. You know, and if you come in here and you meet my staff that has negative attitude, has been detrimental to my business.
And also
who say attitude stinks. Negative attitude stinks. Nobody wants to come near a soccer way that is open. You run away from it. Another experience that I had, let me share that too.
Please.
I got a contract to install cameras in a big institution, very big institution. I'm not sure I had the money to do it, but the bankers called me up. I didn't go to them, they called me and said,
your bank or another bank?
Another bank, but coincidentally I had an account with them. So they called me and said, we noticed that you have a job here. Can we finance you? I said, how is that possible? Say, yes, we know this organization. All you need to do is domicile the account to us. I said, okay, please come to my office. And they came. And then we sat down. And within a few days, they credited my account.
But you can't withdraw from it because it's domiciled with them.
No, I could withdraw from it.
Okay.
But when the payment is coming, it has to go straight to the account. So they gave me money to do the business. You know, eventually I finished the business and they paid me, but the money went into their account. So they deducted their own and left my own in the account.
That looks so simple.
It was quite simple.
So why don't we have many people doing that?
Well, credibility. Once they know they will pay, banks will give you the money.
And also added to that, also perhaps your own record of performance.
Yes.
And your reputation.
Yes. They know that for that organization to give me a job, definitely, I must be credible.
When I was asking you earlier about what your challenges are, I was expecting, because I've met many business owners in this climb, who tell me their greatest challenge is people, personnel, getting the right people for the job. Do you have that experience, or are you one of those very, very few, microscopic few, who are very lucky with their personnel?
Well, probably because I have degrees in psychology. I know how to relate with people. I have long-standing staff. It will beat your imagination. You know, I have staff that have been with me for 9-10 years.
Really?
Yes.
So some entrepreneur listening to us out there will be thinking to himself, there's a magic that this man uses. What's the magic formula besides it's your people's skills, right?
Well, skill, then it's just knowing how to relate, knowing how to communicate, understanding that stuff.
Understanding that
letting them know that their problem is also your problem. Letting them know that you are not just here, it's our business. Letting them have a sense of belonging. And because of that, they just keep on staying. I try to do a check, one. But then I also, because of my background, my educational background, I can know who is trainable, who is willing to work. And if I notice that you're not willing to work, I show you the door.
What do you look out for?
Commitment. Commitment. I had a copper some time ago, and the day she got into this place, I called her into my office. And I said, what did you study? She said she studied accounting. And I said, the 1 year that you will stay in here, I want you to add value to yourself. How? Can you enroll in the ICANN class? There's an ICANN class down the road. Talk to your parents. That 1 year, can you do one diet? And she says, oh, yes, sir, you know, well. And I've been looking at this girl. I told her that we have a Wi-Fi here. I gave her the password. And we had 10 gig on the Wi-Fi. Within 6 days, that 10 gig disappeared.
What happened?
Video streaming. She was downloading videos. And I told her, come, you are the one downloading video because you are the one that has a tab. All other guys, they have these small phones that they can't. I told you this password so that you can educate yourself. And I loaded 5 gig within 4 days. And I knew this can be a serious person. So I changed the password. And next they said, is that the password is not? I said, yes, I know it's not going. I've changed it. But then even I still kept her. But I noticed that she didn't want to sacrifice. We're paying her at least 15,000 naira extra. But she didn't want to sacrifice. So at some point I just said, I can't cope with this.
So for you, when you're hiring, attitudinal disposition is more important than skills.
Very important. Because that's what sells us, you know. I'm in business to make profit. You know, and if you come in here and you make my staff that has negative attitude, has been detrimental to my business.
And also has
who say attitude stinks. Negative attitude stinks. And I can equate it to a soccer way that is open. Nobody wants to come near a soccer way that is open. You run away from it.
I think attitude is also linked to dedication to duty that you mentioned earlier, that perceived commitment and willingness to work, to sacrifice, to learn.
To learn, exactly.
And grow.
Somebody that pays you X amount of money every month and says, would you mind coming to work on Thursday, which is your CD day? Maybe after your CD, can you just come here for like an hour? And it is a blatant no. Then you are not good for the business. So attitude is very important.
Very important. What about retaining? I mean, you've trained someone. It pains you when you've invested so much to train an employee, and then only for the employee to leave you. How do you ensure? What strategies do you have for retaining your employees?
I don't experience that.
You are a very unique and lucky person.
They don't leave, except the couple that I told you, and couples are very temporary, you know. I don't experience that because I see them. I see them more than the staff. I was talking to you. My domestic maid has been with us for 11 years. By 11 years now, you know, it's a lot more than the boss employee relationship. You know, after you've worked with me for a couple of years, you have become part of me. So whatever you're going through, I should be part of it too.
So for you, employing correctly and retaining your staff goes beyond salary.
Oh, goes beyond salary a lot. I must know what you are going through. I must be part of your life. I must be involved in your life.
But there are people who have said that when you're nice to people, that's when they treat you badly. That's when they're disloyal.
You must as well be able to draw the line. You know, when you're nice, it doesn't mean that you would open all the frontiers. You know, you can be nice with style. You can be nice with some defense. You know, if I'm part of your life, you would want to tell me things, what you're going through. And I can also know if you're lying, if you're deceiving or not. But when you deceive me, it's not like it's a bed of roses. I've had staff that have erred, and when they err, what do? Talk to them like my younger ones. You don't need this, you know. And a lot of times, genuinely, they apologize.
This looks like a very, very harmless photo frame.
Exactly.
And here we are with a lens here, with memory card. So you want to spy on your house help, right? You know, recently there was a case.
You can also have it in the office.
Yeah.
You have your wife's picture there. It will detect motion.
Well, I think we can spend the whole day talking about personnel issues, but since we have to manage our time, I'll just move on to some of the products that I found walking around your store. I found this iPhone.
This actually is an iPhone. It looks like an iPhone, but we call it a stun gun. It's a teaser.
Stun gun?
Yes, it's like a defense.
This is a gun now.
It's not a gun, but it's something that will sound like a gun, but you know what it does is that it shocks you, and it gives electric shock, exactly. So it gives you a leeway to escape in event of any.
Now this that I'm holding in my hand now, this stun gun, this teaser, supposing an assailant approaches me and I have been able to identify correctly that it's an assailant, and I use this. I pull the trigger, I mean one of the buttons.
Yeah, you press it, yes.
How many seconds or minutes will it demobilize the assailant for me to have an opportunity of getting away?
Oh, this one, because there are bigger ones,
okay,
that can, in fact the bigger ones can only be sold to security personnel, because if they use it for just anybody, it can be hazardous.
I wonder
exactly. But these ones are just things that will 3, 4, 5 minutes that will give you an escape.
So you can demobilize for about 3, 4 minutes.
Yes, it will demobilize you.
Which is fair enough. Sometimes
it's fair enough. Yes. Even hearing the sound alone can also demobilize. It will deter you, because you're not used to it. You don't know what it is. But you know that it is something that is dangerous. So hearing the sound alone can also scare you away. Exactly. Exactly.
Those other ones that you said can only be sold to security
personnel. Yes.
How long? What's the duration of their demobilization?
The individual that you are using that equipment on, you don't know the health status.
I was going to come to that.
You don't know the health status. So you must be sure, almost double sure, that this person is a criminal. You know, it's a criminal. So, for instance, there is one stun gun, we call it a blinder. A blinder. So what happens is that if I see you in the night and I put on the torch, you can't see me.
But I can see the torch. If I have a gun,
you can see the torch, but the torch will blind your eye.
Momentarily.
Yes, you can't see. You can't see who is holding the torch. You can see the light, but the light will blind your eyes. So that alone can also give an escape route, or get you close to the person and then use the stun gun.
I've also heard of night glasses, that when you wear them, it's as clear as daylight, even in the dark.
Yes, yes, that's true. There are night glasses. You have rare glasses too.
Rare glasses.
You see, rare glasses are glasses that have side mirrors.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I haven't heard about that.
They have side mirrors that, you know, you can, when you look this way, you actually can see who's coming behind you.
Who's coming behind you.
But they're dark glasses.
Oh, that's interesting. I'd like to have one of them.
Yes.
I mean, I can always just keep looking ahead of me while I'm watching everything going on.
So you look like a magician.
A sunshade with side mirrors.
Side mirrors, exactly.
Interesting.
Yes.
I also found this pen, which I love. It's like a Parker pen, you know, the one we used to have in those days in secondary school, which is lovely. But I can see there's a ballpoint right on top of it.
Yes, the pen is actually not a pen. It's a camera too.
Interesting.
You know, but we call them hidden cameras. You know, they're spy cameras. If I put on the pen, everything that we're saying here is recording video and audio.
Audio, visual.
Yes.
How many lenses does it have?
How many what?
How many lenses does it have?
Just one. But you know, the way it works is that you can't play it. At the end of the day, you put it to your laptop.
Oh dear.
Oh, yes.
I didn't see that.
To your laptop, and then you
there's
on your laptop.
There's a USB port.
USB, exactly.
And then you just slot this in.
Just slot it in, and then you watch and you hear whatever you said.
How sharp and clear is it?
Very clear.
What's
very
the range
clear
of this pen? The recording range.
Oh, it has to be close. It has to be close.
But there are some, I reckon, that will be more powerful than this.
Oh, well, see, because these ones are, you know, a lot of times when we secure houses, we say that people should know that you have a camera here. Because as I said earlier, it will deter crime. But with these ones, you're spying. And when you're spying, you need to be close. You need to be close. So
I've also heard of cameras that are attached by like the buttons on your shirt.
Yes.
And I've heard of ones that are on the rim of your glasses.
Yes, there are so many. There are some that are wristwatches.
Your wristwatches.
In fact, there's this one. It's a frame.
Whoa.
It's actually a photo frame.
So if I have a girlfriend that I want to spy upon,
oh definitely,
I just give her a photo frame.
A photo frame
as a birthday present.
Oh yes.
And then she puts the picture and puts it in her bedroom.
There, and then
and then I can always come and remove. Is it a memory card it uses or USB?
It's a memory card. It's a memory card.
Which is better because I can always replace the memory card. Sorry, I'm being quickly here and I'm not teaching young people bad things. But I mean those are possibilities. I mean so the security business.
So it's a nice photo frame.
So where's the lens now? I reckon it's on top of it.
That's the lens here.
Oh, so ladies, be careful. Some guy out there might just be up to some mischief there. It gives you a photo frame. How do I establish if somebody gives me a gift, whether it's a spying object?
You can't know. You shouldn't know.
This looks like a very, very harmless photo frame.
Exactly.
And here we are with a lens here, with memory card. So you want to spy on your house help. You know, recently there was a case.
You can also have it in the office.
Yeah.
You have your wife's picture there. It will detect motion. The moment you come to the office and it detects motion, it picks up.
Does it use battery?
Oh yes, we have to charge it. That's it.
Charge the battery. Okay, so you charge it like a mobile phone.
You charge it exactly.
Interesting. Now, I mean, this is also useful in homes where you want to keep a watch on your maid, for instance, when you're away at the office. There was a recent incident of a housemaid who maltreated a baby. I think she's been jailed for 10 years or something now. So this could just sit in a comfortable position. Your living room or the lobby.
Exactly.
And then you're doing the job. Yes. You know, this is quite interesting because the impression we've always had is that security is for you to have some barrel-chested men. Dress them up in uniform.
It's a
and
lot more than
them
that now.
Yeah.
Security is technology. Technology is security today.
And you don't need to be afraid of PHCN or power outage, as I'm beginning to find out. Some of these things don't really require PHCN.
Yes, but you see, there is a way out of it.
Okay.
All our installations, we advise that you come on inverters and batteries. There must be an alternative source of energy. Exactly. You know, so professionally, cameras should have an alternative source of energy. So when there's outage, the inverter picks up. You know, because as I said earlier, the gap must not be there. It must not be there. You know, a split of a second is vital.
Is this a teaser also?
That's a teaser. It's a teaser too. Wow. It's a teaser too.
I think it's quite interesting, all of these things that you've talked about. We could go on, but I just want us to touch on regulatory issues before we depart today. What's the regulatory side of this business like?
This, for some, the police, for some, the NCC. For instance, the radio communication works on frequencies.
True.
You know, so most clients will ask them, you need a license, a permit, you know, to get a frequency. If you want a dedicated frequency, you must get that from NCC. You know, for some it's the State Security Service. You know, so I think it's a mixture.
For some, it may be multiple permits that you might require.
Exactly. Okay. You know, but for the fire alarm and the CCTVs, you know, you can, if you are knowledgeable, you can buy the cameras and install in your homes. We have a lot of cameras now that are DIYs, plug and play, do it yourself. You know, what you're doing is that you are protecting the environment. What you're doing is that you're making your environment safe.
But who regulates the practitioners?
Well, there's a security body, there's a security agency that I wouldn't say it regulate.
Okay.
I won't say regulate, but there's a body there's an association. Exactly, that's an association, but I won't say regulate. Okay. Regulate is the function of the government.
Yes.
Yes.
So you need to get a permit.
A permit to use the teasers. You know, the frequencies, as I mentioned earlier, if you want to get a frequency for your client for radio communication, it has to be NCC.
NCC.
So it has to be different bodies.
And how cheap is it? How affordable is it?
Oh, the frequencies are pretty expensive. You know, there are some frequencies that, for instance, if I buy a radio off you, there are free frequencies that can come on it. As in, it will work without any frequency. But you know, we supply some governors radio communication walkie-talkies. They must have dedicated frequencies, so they have to apply for frequency from NCC, and that will come cheap. I'm sure.
So if I want to come into the industry as a player, as an entrepreneur, do I need to register with anybody or any government agency, or I just go to the CAC, register my company, and voila, I'm a business?
It now depends on what exactly you want to do.
Like,
for instance,
playing the technology side. Because as you're talking now, my interest is big.
If you're doing cameras are benign. You don't need to register anywhere. They're benign. You're not a threat to anyone.
Yeah.
All you're doing is that making your environment safe, making your community safe.
Yeah.
But when you go to things that now have to involve other people, like teasers, then you probably might have to register. When you go to things like the radio communication, you have to use frequencies. You know, the police frequency is different from the private frequency. then the NCC must be involved, you know.
Now, before we go, I want to know about inventorizing. How do you conduct your inventory? Do you have softwares or applications?
Oh, yes, you know, we have softwares.
To keep track of your goods.
Exactly, we have softwares, and then whatever is going out must be signed for, you know, and then we have a proper invoicing system on the system, you know. So we invoice, and as we invoice it, it deletes it from the stock.
Would you want to recommend some software that you have found very useful and beneficial?
Interestingly, I have a very young guy that does that for me. IT. You know, he is not my staff, but I will also call him my staff because I call him all the time. So he does all IT related things here.
You might not be able to give us the details. Mr. Damola, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
And thanks also for adding value to entrepreneurs in our communities all around the country.